I'm here with Julie from CWD, and we are going to fit a saddle to this guy. This is Hammy. He's 4 years old. And I'm going to give you the complete history on him. So we got him when he was 4 months old. When he was a yearling, we decided to keep him a stud right away because we thought he was pretty spectacular. When he was a yearling, I think we didn't give him quite enough protein. Like, we know how to feed a young horse, but we might not have really realized how much a young stud needed that much more. So his hind suspensories are just like a little weak. So that being said, we put shoes on him. We tried to get him ready for the 4-year-old class at Winter Fair, but we just felt like his hind end was a little weak. Then we decided to gelt him after Winter Fair when he was 4 years old. So because we gelded him, we decided let's go ahead and pull his shoes. Well, this heel right here, the front right, contracted a little bit while he had shoes on. So that was another good reason to pull his shoes, because we just wanted to really just like let that heel uncontract. Okay. So while that was uncontracting, he was moving kind of poorly, and he actually hit himself, and I was there when he hit himself. I was riding him actually, and we were going from a walk to a trot, and he used his back leg and just smacked his front leg. So he has a bit of tendonitis in that front leg, but we just had the vet check him over, and it's very minor, but I'm only allowed to walk trot right now as part of his rehab. Basically, when he was a stud, and the biggest reason why we decided to geld him was he would stop. He would stop and back up. He would do it on the ground, he would do it while you're riding, and it was his only stud behavior, but it was very annoying. And then actually he did get, like, towards the end, just before we gelded him, he was a little bit rank. he was a little silly. So the stopping and backing up sometimes comes out while I'm riding, and I would like to make sure that the saddle fits him really well, to make sure that that's not the reason why he's stopping and backing up. But he also will do it on the ground while you're hand walking him. So there's a good chance it's just not saddle related. He also, if I stand him here a little bit, he has a very short back. He has a sloping wither. He has wide shoulders that narrow. So he's wide here, and then it narrows. It's not so bad now that he's a little bit more mature, but it was really pronounced, and it just all the time his saddle would slide back quite a bit. So that's why we have you out here looking at him. Yeah, for sure. And yeah, he's actually being a little naughty right now. Well, he's 4-year-old. Yes, we can keep it in that. Yeah. Okay. But I'll let you go ahead and check him out.
Yeah, but I'm going to just go back to what you said about his short back, just to show you why we say short back. So he's pretty well proportioned considering his size. But when we say short back, considering like saddle fitting, it's because we need to take into consideration where to put the saddle, okay? So the saddle needs to be on the rib cage. Horses have 18 rib, okay? And we need to ensure the pressure is here because it's comfortable for the horses to hold it there. Past that key point, it's going to be the kidneys, okay? So when you grab your last rib, it's going to be here. They're angled, okay? So that's why I form a line that is not super straight. And that's going to be our last point where the back of the saddle can be, okay?
Correct. And you can create a buck if it goes behind there, right?
Exactly. It's the kidneys, so the pressure, some horses don't really feel it, but it's just like morphology-wise, it's not something I would ever recommend to go past that point, just because it's not again the bones anymore. So yeah, bucking can be like a factor when the pressure again it's too low on the horses of the back. They can have that behavior, yes.
Okay.
And also we need to ensure that the front of the saddle sits where it should be, okay? So when we talked about his withers and shoulders, so here you have the upper scapula, so the shoulder blade. When he's going to be moving, it's going to be more visual for us to see, but upper shoulder blade is here. And you need to ensure that the tree of the saddle, so the tree that is holding you and the saddle, sits behind it, okay? So the point of the tree point I'll show you later, needs to sit behind that bone. Otherwise, of course, everything is always going to slide back if the saddle is too much on the shoulder blade, okay? So that's why when we say short back, it's literally these 2 points that we need to ensure the saddle is there, okay? And nothing can be more forward than that or more backward than that, okay? So that's why we can say he's pretty compact and short back, because between the space of the front and the back of the saddle, we don't have much, okay? Also, we always need to ensure that the back of the line and the spine is going to be free from any pressure. We'll see a little bit about the saddles, how we can design such a gullet. But for the placement and the shape of the horse, that's why we always look at horses without saddles, just to see what's the morphology of the horses and how we can fit them better.
I'm just gonna move them for sure.
So sometimes, you know, when you see horses and just to really notice the shoulder movement, I don't know if he's very going to cooperate, but you can really like show, even with your borders, like the scapula motion.
Oh yeah.
Just so, you know, we can see that it rotates back and forth, and therefore no pressure here for the tree, okay? That's a little bit to see, okay, where is the scapula? Basically, you can take the foot of the horse.
Exactly. And then it rotates.
Exactly.
Like
It's just to show the motion, yes, that the scapula rotates. So even though the shoulder blade is here, we need to ensure the tree is away from it.
Okay.
Super. So, maybe we can talk a bit about like what we're looking for into saddle fitting, like to protect the horse and the part just in the cross ties. Let's grab one actually.
Oh, good saddle.
So that one is a 17. We know he's pretty short back. I'm going to try first a 17, and we'll see, can we do a 17 and a half in my brand, in the CWDs. As said, the shape of the panels and the length of the seat depends a little bit on the brands.
You know what? Should I lunge him for half a second?
Yeah, go ahead if you.
Yeah, because I don't want him to dump your saddle.
Thank you.
You know?
That's great.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Because he's actually not really acting like himself. He's actually acting like a feral stud here.
That's Does he travel uphill or downhill when you ride?
Very uphill.
Uphill, okay.
Even when he's, shouldn't say that. He can travel like a hunter.
Yeah.
But his shoulder is always up.
Okay, yeah. No, the motion when like his own balance is more uphill than downhill then, huh?
Yeah, naturally he is more uphill.
But it's key points as well that help me fit better. Just because like the way that a horse travels, we're going to do like a different balance if he's downhill or uphill. So that's, you know, specificities and being picky about saddle fitting, that when we really fit one horse, one rider, we adapt to both of the riders and the horse balances. That's why I'm asking.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. Well, there you go. It's a good thing he needed a little lunch. Hi, buddy. There's that little tendonitis.
Yeah.
Hi, buddy. Okay, well, apparently he said he's done. Oh. Are you gonna behave now? The only time he ever doesn't behave.
Well,
You want to do something?
that's life with horses. You never know what horse you're going to have today.
Yeah, oh, he's broke! No, he's not. He's completely feral. I don't know what you're talking about.
Does he see Cairo massage?
It does Cairo, but he hasn't had one recently.
Okay.
The vet was out here. We were looking at his legs, not necessarily his back, recently.
Okay. But when I palpate, basically there's no sensitiveness or anything that I see that he's overreacting. There's a couple of little bumps, but I feel like it's just him that.
We had a very bad bug season.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he does have little bug bites.
And that's something about saddle fitting as well. You need to ensure that where you're going to put the saddle is going to be healthy.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm just like
For sure.
asking those questions. It's not linked because of like friction or stuff. If it's like bug bites, that's fine. And he's not overreacting to me touching him and like having pressure along the back muscles. So that's super. Okay. So let's go back with the saddle.
Hey, you're not a chewer. What are you doing?
All right. So a couple of key points to get a good saddle fitting. We need to ensure we're protecting the horse, okay? So we need to ensure there's no pressure on the weather bone. Okay?
And I've had a saddle fitter unfortunately do that and put a horse out for 6 months.
With the too low of a weather clearance.
It hit the nerve through the wither.
So exactly, that's a very good point. So horses, they have one ligament that makes from the ears to the tail move everything, okay? It's the supraspinatus ligament, if you would like to know. And everything is linked together. So when you're going to have pressure here or through the back, it's going to block pretty much everything. So you need to have enough weather clearance so there's no pressure on the bone. Then you need to have a channel that is going to be wide to ensure that that spine and those muscles and ligament can move freely. Okay?
Right. Yeah.
You don't want to have anything too narrow, otherwise that motion, when you bend your horse, he cannot actually move. Okay?
Correct. Yeah.
And same for the weather clearance. You need to have that away from pressure, especially on the landing side of the jump, for example, because this is where you're going to have the most of your weight and his motion downhill. So therefore, that's where we need to ensure it's enough.
And he has a longer sloper wither than most of my horses.
Exactly. So he has a pretty high wither and long wither. When we say long wither, it's more comparing to the shoulder blade. Okay. Because usually shoulder blade is a bit more recessed, and then you can have very high wither. But he's pretty long, pretty wide though. Okay, and we know he's only 4, so this is where he's still going to build up. Even though the back of the line, we can see it's pretty horizontal, so meaning that he has muscle through the back.
Which is weird because he hasn't done anything in a long time. Like he hurt himself a couple weeks ago, so we've been doing walk rides.
And again, like the shape, okay, he's going to get more muscular, but just the shape of how to fit a horse today, we know the shoulder is still gonna grow, he's still gonna grow in the lower withers and be more tonic, but we don't have, like a hollow back or,
right.
He's pretty like in a good shape to ensure that the saddle is going to fit remotely close. So weather clearance, the channel here, the gullet, that we need to ensure it's going to be wide and away from pressure. So that's basically why we designed that such a measurement, okay? So we designed the gullet studying horses that have kissing spine to ensure that all the horses that don't have it are still very free, okay?
Yeah, can you show the camera?
Yeah, sure.
Perfect.
That one is not the most,
oh no, that's okay.
the most perfect, but yeah.
So it's very wide.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I find the CWDs are really wide in compared to some other brands too.
And so we are driven by innovation. We feed the horses and we develop the saddles to fit the horses that nowadays we fit. Back in the day, that's why every 2-3 years you have new panels, new tree, new innovation into our saddles, just because we don't fit same horses that like 10 years ago.
Oh, the breeding from the 90s is not the breeding from today. Yeah.
So now we really are like literally feeding horses that have, okay, more hunter shape, lower weather, thicker, big shoulder, shorter back, compact horses, rather than, those 10 years ago.
Very different.
Very different.
Yeah.
And that's a really like a big strength about the brand, is that we refit and we increase and different technologies comparing to the horses that we have nowadays in the show and in the industry. So very wide gullet, very wide panels as well. That's something as well that we need to ensure is even pressure distribution. Okay, let's see. So when we say 3 point, it's here in the 3 pocket.
Okay.
So that's the part that needs to be behind the scapula. So here, pretty fine, very front.
Oh wow, that's
exactly.
very flexible.
Super soft. I can show you actually. But yes, so the density and the angles of the foam, we have designed it in a way that is going to free the motion of the shoulder.
Wow.
And therefore, we need that is comfortable for the horses to have it on the shoulder,
Okay.
but not the tree. Okay.
I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know you could bend it like that.
And that's something, it's very interesting to ride in them as well, to feel like the horse is so free. And there's something as well we design is the block, not sew in the front, to ensure that you can have that motion. Because if that block was like sew everywhere,
Yeah.
how do you do with the shoulder?
You don't. Oh.
So that's something that we do as well, just to ensure. Again, it's like small things, but we think about it, and we're driven by innovation. Again, we have 26 people working on the saddles, so
Wow.
we know what we're doing, and we're based on science.
Well,
you know?
and I do remember we talked earlier off camera and how the North American riders like different things than European riders.
It's super interesting.
And I very much like a very flat
Yeah.
seat. I myself love the equitation,
Yeah.
love the hunters. I'm a little too chilled out for the jumpers. I can do them, but I have to like rev my personality
Yes.
out. But yeah, and in those in particular, I've always liked a very minimal saddle.
Yeah. Back to traditional, more like fitted saddles.
Yeah.
And again, that's why with the CWDs it's very interesting. You had one of your border that had like an older one from what we discussed a couple of months ago. And the feedback you gave me was too bulky. There's too much saddle under.
Very much, yeah.
Exactly. So between the 2015 to 18, that was a little bit what the market asked for us to do.
Yeah.
And now we're back to very slim, very close contact, very minimalist of saddles. So that's something that we shape and we improve because of the feedbacks of our partners and the riders that ride with us. So it's very interesting what you're saying.
I also like how it's very like I don't wear like a lot of color or flashy stuff, and this looks very
simple,
minimal and simple, which I love. I'm not a big flashy.
Yeah.
Like this is as big as of a brand as I ever really wear. I don't wear a ton of big brand names all over my place.
And that's the beauty of that brand, to be frankly honest. I can be super quiet.
Yeah.
And I can be super loud as well. Like
because you can change your saddle for people's personalities.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We can really shape them with big, like I can make it very jumper style. I like to compare it, or very hunter traditional style.
Right.
We can really do anything in the saddles. Over there, you can see you have like the orange piping. That's one step.
Yeah.
And then you can have blocks and different like carbon plates and stuff. We can really like design into the saddles to make it the way that you like them. So if you want very quiet, we can do it. And if you want a little touch of piping, we can increase it too.
Well, I like white piping. I think that was
the white one we have, like the lighter color here.
Yeah.
I have
it's like a cream color.
Exactly, the ivory, we call it in the brand. I have one I can show you in the car afterwards.
Nice.
But okay, let's go back to him. He's doing pretty well, but
well, I don't usually let him chew on lead ropes, I should
no.
say. But I'm like, he's staying so quiet. I'm gonna let him have a soother.
Yes. So talking about the weather clearance here, what we need to, so here I have pretty much 4 fingers.
Okay.
So it's very interesting to talk about that. If you're not on your horse, if you're not tacked up, I cannot say if it's good or if it's bad, to be frankly honest. It depends on your weight, it depends on how you tack up the horse and the whole motion, okay? When we say we want 1 or 2 fingers, this is true.
While you're sitting in the saddle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And on your 2 points where all the pressure is going to be on your stirrup bar to mimic the landing of the jump, okay? So this is where we need to ensure that there's enough weather clearance.
So go up into your 2 point and then check 2
Exactly.
fingers.
And then, okay.
Is it 1 finger or 2 fingers?
Doesn't really matter.
Okay.
To be frankly honest, I always like to take that example of McLean Ward. He has a picky finger.
A what?
A picky finger.
Oh, pinky finger. Okay, yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
So And some people you like to have a little bit more, and it depends. He's more uphill as well, so we'll give him more just because he's going to lift up the withers,
Right.
and he needs actually more weather clearance.
Okay.
But it really depends on the horses, depends on how close you need to fit to the horses, to the rider's personality as well. It depends a little bit on you. I don't want any pressure on the bone. That's it. If it's 1, 2, 3 fingers, it depends more on you. Okay? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, oh, for sure,
Okay,
yeah.
super. We've seen a little bit the shoulders. It's very supple. We'll see how he moves inside of it. Okay? And a very big thing about saddle fitting is going to be the pressure distribution.
Okay.
We need even pressure. Okay?
From front to back.
Exactly. We need something that is going to hold the horse. I don't want any disconnection. I don't want anything here. I don't want anything there.
Okay.
I want even pressure everywhere so the horse can move freely. And I want you to be balanced as well.
Okay.
So when we say balance, we want pommel and cantle leveled. Again, we need you to be on the horse and stuff, but that's a very good key point. If you're downhill like this, for example, all your weight is going to be shoved in the front,
Right.
and therefore more weight for the horse's shoulders, and therefore less motion for himself. Okay? So the impact of the rider on the saddle and the horses is huge. Okay? So I need you to be balanced, the saddles as well. So far, to be frankly honest, I'm not offended by the fit. It's something that looks pretty balanced. Lots of clearance in the for the withers.
Okay.
Then we'll just see how you sit and how you like it.
Okay.
Here we ride into the rib cage, so 17 is pretty cool. I'll just put a 17.5 to see where we sit.
Sounds good. I have been riding in a 17.5 for several years. Yeah.
And again, the seat size depends on you, but when you have a very short back horse, it depends on the horse as well.
Right.
So if the seat is too long for the back of the horse, that's always something I'm going to notify to you. And if it's something you're like, well, but I only ride in 17.5.
Oh, no, that I will adjust to him. He's so important to me.
Exactly. And that's something at the end of the day you can do compromises.
Yeah.
Between one seat size or the other, sometimes it's the horse telling you. Okay? Not so much your personal preference,
Right.
but the shape of the horse. It's like very true with ponies. You know, when you feed a very small pony and you have like taller kids, sometimes I cannot do bigger just because the pony is so short.
Exactly. Okay? He's kind of like an overgrown pony.
He is. Okay. We have a bit less of space there. It's still on the rib cage. I always like to fit a little bit like what if it slides a little back and stuff.
Yeah.
However, for the fitting, we can still use this one.
Okay.
See where you sit, just to try out that model as well. That should be flat, but no longer than 17.5 for sure. Like
Oh gosh.
into these ones. Okay.
Sounds good.
Super.
Okay.
Now let's start him up. In saddle fitting, yes, I need to figure out what you like the best, but you need as well to know what you don't like.
Okay.
So that's just the way I like to do fittings, to put you in something that is
I
going
totally
to be
agree.
the furthest away from what you know. And sometimes you're like, oh, I don't actually hate it.
Yeah.
Maybe the flatter is going to be the better for you. But as we have in the brand 10 different models, we can really like fit very close to what you like and to your shape and to his shape. So saddle fitting is always a good time to talk about saddle. Exactly, and be curious about what we can offer. It's always easier to put your stirrup leathers when the girth is not tight.
Oh.
Otherwise,
Really?
you have pressure on the stirrup bar, and then it's a nightmare. So
Oh.
that's why you never
I just learned something.
tie the girth before
There you go.
the stirrup irons.
I just learned something. I didn't know that.
Something specific about the girthing system that we have, it's going to be in a V shape. So your girthing system is attached at your pommel,
Okay.
your cantle, and therefore that's why you take the first and the last billet. So the pressure is pulled from here to here in the middle.
Yeah, I do the
Okay.
same thing first and last.
Exactly. So, but on your saddle, your billets are perfectly straight. So it doesn't really matter if you take the first and the last.
Okay.
This one really has been designed in that V shape for that pressure to really come from the front to the, like in the back, perfectly in the middle of the horse.
Okay. Do I have spurs in here? Okay, perfect.
Super.
I'm gonna give them to you, and I'm
Sure.
gonna grab my helmet.
Yes.
I'll just, I have to make a shoot, so maybe I'll just, hey, yeah, you are still a young baby.
Is he a bloater?
See what?
No.
No.
A bloater? No. Just, I don't know if you want to tie up the girth, but you never know.
Oh yeah, I'll check.
Yeah. I never know how much you don't like to tie up horses.
You're making all sorts of choices. I think you should doing it straight on everything.
Absolutely. After yours on him or?
Just when I cluck my tongue.
Yep. Okay. So right away, is there anything on the balance of the saddle that you feel that you need the cantle a little bit higher? How do you feel in that? Balance.
It's too deep for me, but the balance feels good.
Okay. Mine.
Yeah.
Just see here if you need anything lifted in the front or in the back, so don't hesitate.
Right. I actually feel like it's a good fit for him. And I could tell, like, right when I got on, he kind of questioned, like, well, that feels weird, because he started doing, like, little baby backups a bit. But he likes it now. Like, he just kind of questioned it for a second.
100%. It's different.
Yeah.
So,
And I've always ridden him in that other saddle, so
Yeah.
he was probably like, well, what's this?
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for me, the pommel is too high in front. So I do have a past groin injury
Okay.
that I need to accommodate, and that's the reason why I really like a flat saddle.
Yeah.
My left leg has scar tissue in it.
Okay.
And in the winter, I will very much find that this seat would hurt me.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so actually I feel like I'm good on this one to know it's not for me. But I like that he feels like he has freedom, because once he got used to it, he did walk forward and he seemed to like it.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't for me, but
Okay. Again, saddle fitting is all about motion and where you sit in the saddle and stuff. We'll try just a second. I just have a couple of like key points first to see when you're still on the saddle.
okay.
Weather clearance, for example, the leg where it sits, your unbalance and hits. We'll do it on the second one.
Okay. He's also not really acting like himself. He's like being really cheeky today. He
No,
might have
that's-
like not moved forward just because he was being super cheeky.
Yeah.
Right.
That's fine. So to be frankly honest, all the CWDs we're going to put on him today are going to be, it's not going to go in his way. So we need to remember that, okay, these are demo saddles. It's not perfectly fitted to his shape.
Yeah, he's just not used to them, that's all.
Exactly. So even though he can feel a little bit like interesting, okay, it's his personality today. It's colder, I don't know, like
yeah,
it's
yeah, exactly.
today.
It is crisp today.
Exactly.
Like the horses all, when we were leading them outside, they were all acting.
Exactly. But on the second one, I really like us to go a little bit into a trot, just so I can see how the panels are moving with the horse and where your balance point is too.
Sounds good. I might have to grab some spurs. You silly boy.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Those panels are a little bit thicker than the ones prior.
Yep.
Just to ensure we keep the weather clearance for higher weather horses.
Okay.
Okay. That's how we fit saddles basically, through the panels. Okay.
Perfect.
So
I'm gonna put these spurs on because I think they're gonna make a difference.
Yes.
Thank you. Hey, mister. Oh, no, this is him.
Exactly. So
This is better. He's already decided. He's like, that was way too much work.
Yep.
And he sees his mom putting on spurs.
He's like, okay, I'm in trouble now.
Yeah.
They're getting serious.
There you go.
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Come here, monkey. Yeah, good boy. Already I like this better.
What feels different?
It's not cradling my bum.
Good. At the end of the day, it needs to be natural to like sit in a saddle and feel comfortable right away.
Right away, this feels way better.
Super.
And I don't know if you noticed, but right away he walked off.
And again, that's why, like, these saddles are frankly same tree, same panels, different like padding, okay, but they're frankly the same fitting wise for him. But when a rider isn't comfortable or isn't perfectly centered in the tack, you can really have horses that don't feel the same. So the impact that you have on your horse balance and horse movement is very interesting from one model to the other. Okay, that's why when people tell me, "Hey, Julie, just feed my horse. I don't care about me," I cannot do that. I need to feed the rider and the horse together. Otherwise, I cannot make them and the couple perfect together. If you're not centered or balanced, he cannot do that. So
Now this saddle could fit other horses that I own too, right?
correct. So they're pretty versatile. When we say versatile, it's going to be the configuration of panels that we have into the saddles. Again, it depends on what type of horses you have in your barn too. We try
A lot
to
of them
keep
are warmbloods.
sound perfect.
Yeah.
So we can always have a base of horses to fit, so to go in motion and see how they react with the saddles. And then again, it's going to be versatile as a saddle. It's never going to be extra perfect, just because it's a tool to use on a couple of horses. If you have a horse with a very specific fit, okay, it may not be perfect. Maybe we can contribute with a half pad to make the balance better on the other one. But yes, they're pretty versatile saddles for sure.
Right.
And we can fit them as versatile, or we can fit them as very precise on horses' fit. So it just depends on your needs. So we adapt to the horse's needs and we adapt to the trainer's needs.
What's this one's called?
So that one is a classic saddle.
Okay.
It's our extra flat and extra narrow one.
Okay.
So did you notice a difference in the width of your twist?
Yeah, that's probably what I like better.
Just because your hips can close easier in something that is narrower. So
Okay.
we have designed that specific one because in the classic range, so with the classic tree, hybrid tree with carbon Kevlar in the arch and back of the saddle in the wood.
Okay.
In this one we have 3 models. 2 flats, 1 semi-deep. You sit in the semi-deep, and that's one of the flat ones. The semi-deep is a regular twist, wider seat. This one is extra flat, extra narrow. And from one to the other, this one we have designed it, thinking about like regular twist is everything, like it's a model every brand has. Not a lot of brands have something that can fit women's hips, okay? So the women's hips are shaped like a V and the men like an H. So meaning that the opening of our hips, the men can open laterally.
Okay.
But we are more natural in doing this.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So if you have something more narrow, you can actually wrap around the horse, increase your close contact without having to fight against that twist.
Right.
And therefore that's why we have designed it narrower, just to fit closer to that hip angle.
Okay. Is this a 17 or is it 17?
17 and a half for
Okay.
that one. So what we can see into the seat, I'll start here. I'll be able to see more the balance when you're going to start trotting.
Okay.
But from the get-go, what I need to have is in the center of the seat, obviously. We know that he's pretty short back, so that's going to be the max we can do with him anyway. But that's something you're quite in the center, so I really like that. Also, we can fit different shapes of flaps. So now that we figured out that the model suits your hips and your balance, we're going to see a bit different shape of flaps. To be frankly honest, that one fits really very nicely. What I have and what I need to have is the block parallel to your front thigh. Okay? So, and I need something that is not too long, not too short.
Okay.
And it's just when you're going to start riding that we're going to see where your balance point is. Is your knee going to go down and very straight, or is your knee going to come up? It really depends on your thigh angle, okay?
Okay.
And that's why we have 5 different shapes of flaps to really fit close to that placement of leg that you have riding, okay? So that's more specific about how we hit a rider than the horse. It doesn't really have an impact on the horse. It's just to see how can we make your leg very stable and very comfortable with your front, basically. Okay.
So I'm going to pick up a trot. So one of the things about his rehab is he doesn't want to go forward.
Yeah.
So that's to be expected, just so you know. It has nothing to do with the saddle.
Yeah. And that's his hard way, correct?
This is as easy. Going to the left is harder.
Super.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
I know. And then to help him, it helps if I sit a couple steps before. There we go. You're being silly. I'll go this way. Okay, now get up. Good boy.
So what I'm looking for from the ground, like specific to the saddle fitting, is stability of the saddle, okay? I don't want anything lifting, shifting, okay? So it's pretty centered on the horse. That's something that I love, especially with the little back shins, okay? So the saddle is leveled. We need pommel and cantle leveled when the horse is moving. So we have the perfect alignment here. The saddle is centered on his back. How does he feel moving?
Lame.
Yeah.
No, he feels pretty good.
Okay. No, but again, like, I know he has a specific history and that's okay.
What we're working through, yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
But it's
No, he
more...
felt pretty good.
Okay.
The backing up stuff that he was doing, that actually has nothing to do with saddle fitting. That is just like slight stud behavior, slight discomfort.
Yeah.
So what we're working on is those hind suspensories, building up on a walk trot program right now. So good boy, hey, good boy. And then that front leg. So there's like a couple of factors that are causing discomfort, but not like we're working with our vet and we're like going within what he should be doing to build up strength. So,
okay. While you're just walking, I'm just going to ask you to stop for a sec, and I'm going to check the weather first.
Okay.
Stand on neutral point for me. Okay. So here, I don't know if you can see. Do you want to slip your hand into it? But when you're on your two point, you have enough room for him to go freely. Even though when he jumped, basically, like when he was just lunging, he really lifts up his
very
fingers.
much.
And therefore, that's a good weather clearance, so he can actually act like this without having anything catching him.
Yeah.
So that's why it's actually good that I saw him jump, because not all the horses have that.
He's very bascule. Yeah. He's a hunter.
Yeah, and that's how you can feed a horse better, is by having the horse move.
It's too bad we didn't catch it on camera. We let Hammy loose before starting, and then he free jumped twice, I think, and yeah, he really has a 10.
Exactly, and which is super, but that's how you need to adapt the saddle from one horse to the other. Right. It's depending on the whole motion, walk, trot, canter, and jump.
I do like, okay, so it's very simple saddle, but also supports right here, which feels nice.
Exactly. So you narrow down the twist, meaning that you should have more inner thigh through the calf balance and close contact with the horse. Also, that flap is a little bit shorter. So he's a pretty compact horse, and the shape of the flap and the length depends on you, okay? With such like a compact horse, I like when trainers and riders have a bit more contact with the leg rather than having a flap. So with your hip to knee, I wouldn't mind having something a bit longer, just because you have a bit long femur like me.
Yeah.
We can try one if you want to see the difference.
Sure.
However, with such horses, sometimes people like having a bit more grip with their calf onto the horse rather than gripping with the saddle. And that's how you fit saddles to people. I
think if I could see the difference between like this one and then immediately see the next one, I would know.
That's what we're going to do now.
Yeah, okay, perfect.
So hop off, and the saddle is actually there. So
there we go. It depends what I'm filming, really. Actually, it depends on the video.
Yeah.
We've been playing around with audio quite a bit, trying to, because our riding needs, like when you start riding, you start like breathing heavier, and the microphones are picking it up.
Yeah.
So it's very annoying to find a microphone that works for equestrians.
Huh.
Yeah, and especially because we do a sport that goes like you're bouncing, like up, down, so the microphone can hear that sometimes. So we're still playing with it.
Yeah.
Just trying to get the right audio. That's the only frustrating part I've found so far with editing.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah. We've got it down now. He thought he was done.
Oh, I didn't hear your...
Sorry, that was my bad. But
okay, that's okay.
Good.
Oh,
I like this better. Why do I like, what, is this one a different seat?
Yes.
Okay, I love that.
And that's why, you know, in saddle fit, when I fit people, I never tell them, okay, so that's going to be this one, you should feel that, just because it's so personal from one rider to the other.
There's like no saddle between me and the horse. This is my favorite.
That is awesome. Super. So it's very good that you say that, because it's the aim of that one. So it's a 2025 model that we designed in the, we launched it in January or something like this from this year.
Yeah, so my left groin muscle, I can tell right away if I'm going to love or hate a saddle.
Yeah.
And the first one, I hated. I didn't even want to trot because I was like, this is going to cripple me.
Yeah.
And then this next one, I can still feel it in my left leg. And this one feels more like the saddle I have been riding in, which has been working for me.
Super. So this one, very interesting that you can feel even more comfortable because it's our Mademoiselle range. So meaning we've studied this one with the dynametry, so there's no wood in the trees anymore. It's fully carbon Kevlar and fiberglass. So that's going to be following the horse's motion completely.
Okay.
And also the shape of the seat has been made for the wider pelvis, and you have two capsules of gel underneath your seat bones.
Okay.
So the classic range, hybrid tree, wooden composite, memory foam on the seat. So this one is a 2GS, so you have a dynametry, fully composite carbon Kevlar, and the seat is memory foam on top of the capsule of gel. So you have more comfort, and it's a different shape of tree, actually.
Come on. There you go, turkey.
That's what I mean about the shape of the tree that you're sitting on.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So that's basically what you have in the saddle currently. So
very minimalist.
Yes. And it's actually a very interesting story about how we developed it. So we have a patent for it, obviously. The first 2G, so not 2GS, but 2G tree, we developed it in 2012. It's the first 2G saddle you ever had on the market. So obviously they were not as light, as minimalist as that. But it's our head of research and development, Pauline Martin, that is designing our saddles, our trees, our panels, improving the models and stuff. And she was back in the day a student that in PhD in horse biomechanics.
Okay.
And she was doing her thesis and research about how do we develop trees, how do we develop saddles in motion with horses. Yeah. That was basically her project.
Okay.
And our pretty amazing CEO, Laurent Duret, he was like, okay, Pauline, I believe in your project. Here are the funds you need. Develop it.
Wow.
And here we are. So, and she is the one that developed the hybrid tree.
Okay.
So back in the day, we had iron in the saddles and wood. Now we don't do any irons in it anymore for the flexibility of the 3 point, but we still keep the wood in it in the classic range. So innovation is a big thing for us, and that's why at the end of the day, saddles are the price that they are, just because we have lots of investment into them. And he's being a little bit silly now, huh?
That's okay. Part of it is like legit, he's trying to talk to me.
Yeah, 100%.
And part of it is this is my stud behavior that I had.
Okay. Okay.
So part of it is, okay, I hear you that you're in a little bit of discomfort, and he's not in an insane amount of pain. So like we've done the ultrasounds and stuff. So part of it is just, he learned some stud behavior, and he just needs to get over it.
But that's so interesting that you know it's that, and not, oh my god, okay, it's a different saddle, he doesn't want to go forward with the saddle. It's always the same talk about, like, you know your horse better than I can detect when there's sensitivity with like saddle related, but it's so important as a professional to know that, okay,
totally,
it's separate from saddle or vet.
No, when he does it on the ground. So if there's mares standing over there, he stops and backs up because he wants to go see the mares. So it's the weirdest stud behavior that you can possibly have. Ultimately, it's pretty safe. It is very annoying. Very annoying stud behavior.
Apart from the seat, does it feel any different into the length of the strap? I know it's hard when you
I can't pay attention to it, unfortunately. He's being so bad. Come on. All right. I'm going to try a little bit more to get a trot, and then otherwise I'm just going to listen to him and say that's enough.
Sounds good. Yeah. And again, when you fit horses, you need to have a hold of the horse. Like, if it is what it is.
Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. And I'm going to take the win and call that enough.
Super.
Just because it was a little bit of stud behavior for sure. You can tell the way he was acting earlier. He's not like a chewer on lead ropes.
Can you stay on 2
Yes.
seconds?
Oh,
It's just so I can
you're
tell
okay.
you visually the differences into the flaps. So just put your stirrup back on if you can.
Okay.
So that
Hey.
one, I don't know if you noticed, but you have more underneath your calf.
Yeah.
The other one was more here.
Do you know, it's so interesting because it's such thin leather that I still feel very close to the
To him?
horse. Yeah.
Okay.
And if I was to do bigger fences and I had stickum on, I would like it to be on the saddle, not on the horse.
Okay. Yeah.
So I like that.
Yeah. Between one or the two, like the length, it's very personal at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And one or the other, I'm not offended by it. So it's always a talk. Some people like to have shorter flaps. Some people like to have a longer flap.
To me, it didn't really make a difference.
Okay,
honestly.
super. That's a good point as well.
The flat seat with my left leg, I could never ride any of the first one.
Yeah.
So I didn't trot in it because I was like, nope.
Yeah. And again, you know what you like, what you feel. At the end of the day, you're a professional. You've been doing that for so long. When I feed trainers and professionals into this industry, it's different from when I feed clients. Because clients, at the end of the day, they have no clue, okay?
Right, yeah.
You know what you like or don't like, so that's okay for you to hop off right away. I trust you blindly.
Yeah.
Sometimes people have to go through that 10, 15 minutes warming up to actually be like, okay, it's not that bad. But
And do you know what? I can 2-point right now, and I'm not hitting the pommel.
super.
Even though he's standing really weird.
Yeah. So the specificity of that one, and I'm very glad that you can like notice what we've improved into it, is the flatness. So that one is the extra flat like 2G we have in the Mademoiselle range, and it's flatter everywhere. So in the other ones we have a little bit of curve.
Okay.
This one is like literally the closest you can get to the horse.
That's what I feel. I definitely feel a closeness to the horse, which is, yeah, it's the only way I want to ride.
Yeah. Okay. Super. Well,
Yeah.
awesome.
Good stuff. You hear that? I like the most expensive one.
So, and that's very interesting because when I do fittings, it's always the classics that I go first, just because those ones are the base. For me, if you want to go deeper into a fitting, I have more options into the 2GS's range. We have 3 classics, 7 2G. So it's good to see, do you like flatter, deeper, wider, narrower? Then when I have a bit like what you prefer, I can basically put some 2GS's out that is going to fit you better. And some people, realistically, they don't really like the 2G and they prefer the classic ones. So having those 10 different models really helped me fit better people. Because you can really choose the model that fits you better.
Yeah,
you don't have to compromise on, okay, maybe that's it or that flap. Everything can be built around your needs. So
that's right.
It's pretty interesting.
And he did not help at all today.
Nope.
He was like, how do I make this
But
very
at the end of the
difficult?
day, that's how, when fitting saddles, this is the best way for me to fit.
Right.
Because when he's rearing up or going up like that, the saddle didn't move an inch. So that's what I need to see.
Our neighbor's gonna take off in a plane right next door, by the way.
A plane?
That's what the sound is. Our neighbor's gonna take off in a plane.
Really?
So,
Like in their backyard?
Literally, yeah. He's next door. He's taxiing right now. Well, this one's closer to the horse.
So channel, we're pretty good with the gullet, to be honest, to ensure that spine can move freely. So I'm pretty content with this one. What looks different when you say you're closer to the horse?
Well, the panels are thinner on this
Yes,
one.
exactly, the shape of the panels. So a big strength about CWD, we shape them in 5 different areas, okay? Because your horse is not flat, okay? So you have the front panel, the upper scapula, middle panel, withers area, back panel. With those 5 different areas, we can add or remove foam.
Okay.
That's how we fit horses. That's how, with very challenging horses,
thicker weather, like we can fit anything basically by having that action of removing or adding foam.
Okay.
So for example, if we were to build the saddle that we tried last, you saw that I have the little shims in the back. Okay, so that would be probably something I need to add on, so your saddle is perfectly balanced to fit
without
him.
the shim.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's just because his shape, again, he's very uphill. He has a weather, so we need to ensure that saddle comes off that weather, but therefore you can really see
Oh, his withers are higher than his bum like that.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's because he's not downhill. He's built uphill, so weather's higher than his hips. Therefore, everything is always going to sit a bit more pommel high, which we need to fit his weathers, but therefore to ensure that the saddle and yourself are balanced, we need to have that little razor in the back. So that's talking about saddle fitting and how specially we're going to fit that horse. We're going to need to balance up the saddle by adding a little bit of foam, just because of his shape today.
Okay.
And his weathers, his balance and stuff. So we shape in different angles because the horse has different angles. Also, do you see the difference here? That's what I meant about.
Oh yeah, it's one piece.
Exactly. And we do that for pressure distribution. Okay?
Oh, okay.
It's going to be even everywhere the same because it's one flat surface.
Right.
On top of that, you're going to feel closer to the horse because it's one surface rather than two.
Okay.
Also here, you can see where the pressure was on the horses. The shape of the panels, they're a bit square. So you have a lot of panels for not a lot of reasons. Okay?
Right.
So you can feel closer to the horses and having more shock absorption as well.
Okay.
And the pressure is more spread for sure. There's no screws in our saddles anymore. We integrate them inside. Just again, that's the spot where the pressure is not spread. Just
Right.
because you have the spot with your screw, rather than this one, you're right with the horse. Okay? So there's those small details, but at the end of the day, that's what makes us different.
Yeah.
And also it's going to be the weight of them. So this
No
one,
helping.
it's all.
No helping.
It's going to be as well as said, we don't do any irons in our trees, so that's a Bruno. That's with the
You don't
original.
have irons?
No. Okay, so lift that one, lift up the skirt, and tell me what you see.
What is that?
That's carbon Kevlar.
Oh.
So that's why we don't have irons in it anymore, just because iron doesn't have any flexibility whatsoever. And you need to know that the tree here, there is iron in the stirrup bar and into the tree point and into the skeleton of the saddle. Okay? We don't have that anymore in ours. Since 2019, where we designed the new trees, the new classic ones, just because again we're driven by innovation. We have a product, how can we make it better? Removing the iron, ensuring that lower tree point and lower weathers area is going to be free from the pressure. And the specificities of those CWD trees is when you land your jump, it opens 4 millimeters to relieve the pressure. Okay? So you're literally going to have something, again, it's a huge iron, doesn't do that, but it's always going to remove and release the pressure rather than keeping it on the tree point. Okay?
Interesting.
So that's why they're way lighter too, ensuring that the horse feels it's lighter.
Well, that's
and it's
very
more
light.
flexible. Exactly.
Yeah.
More flexible. And the specificity of the 2G, might as well show it to you. When we say they're dynamic, that's what we mean.
Whoa! Look at that.
Exactly. So, and that's something, again, it took us 10 years to develop.
Yeah.
And to patent. And the challenging part is that, yes, it moves, but it goes back to its place.
Yes.
And that's something that people forget, but it's extra important and super hard to do, obviously. So yeah, that's the specificity of the
Interesting. So it can bend left and right.
Exactly. And again, you're never gonna have enough pressure in the horse motion that is literally going to bend like this.
Does it make it so it doesn't slide around on the horse's back as much? Really?
Exactly.
Well, maybe don't do that.
So that's an advantage as well. It's as it's not stuck on the horse, it doesn't float like on the horse's back. It's literally going with their movement.
Yeah.
Therefore,
So it would slide less left and right.
exactly. It's supposed to be more stable. Again, it's a technology that some horses have a hard time to adapt to. just because it's literally moving with them. So it can be disturbing with some horses
Yeah.
to actually have something. Okay, I do this. The saddle comes with me. It's a matter of the adaptation, to be frankly honest.
Right.
But it's a technology that horses, for their motion, they like the best. Usually, again, not
Once
all,
they get used to it, for sure.
not all the horses like it. It's like they have personal preferences, but it's going to be the most pushed into the innovation, thinking about the horse comfort
Yeah.
and the rider's comfort.
So do some horses don't get used to it then?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
That's fair.
to be frankly honest, some of the younger stock, so when I have trainers, for example, they do breeding, they have show horses that are older as well. But with the younger ones, I always guide them through a classic. I'm like, okay, you have a doubt, you have, I don't know, 7 horses you need to break, 7 horses you need to teach them how to move together. Let's do a classic, so you don't have, okay, maybe this one likes the 2G tree, maybe this one doesn't like it. Okay, we have 2 classics for that young stock, they use it, it's a no-brainer.
Right, yeah.
Then horses get used to having someone on, attack and stuff, and
Right.
usually they go right into a 2GS afterwards.
Well, it's interesting because he was backing up more than he usually does, so maybe he was like, what is that?
And that's something that I like to see the horses go and maybe they behave. And so he's been a bit challenging today.
Oh, today
But
just
that's-
wasn't.
Yeah,
being
but that's
bad.
that's not unusual for a young horse to question to the S3s
Okay.
because it's literally moving with them, and he's never had that on him before. So
Right.
it can be a bit interesting for them. Some horses you can really see the switch, like, okay, I've been going in a saddle, it's okay. We put a 2G, you have a horse that is super loose. So it's very interesting to see the differences between the models, how you fit in them,
Right.
but how they react to the trees too.
But given that his jump is so round, it'd probably be long term better for him to get used to something that moves with him.
Exactly. And it's, again, like our classic saddles are better than other brands' classics just because we are doing lighter, no irons, better technology, better fit.
Yeah.
But they're still very good models. Like, it's choosing between a 2G and a classic. If we were not talking about money, of course, because okay, on those ones you run around 7. This one we start at 10. So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you have a horse, you need to fit it. You're an amateur. You're riding 3 times per week. Sometimes it's hard to have to invest into a
Right.
2G, and
Absolutely.
a classic can do the job 100%. Some horses, of course, they're going to like something more innovative into their back. If you can do it, if the horse likes it, yes, that's going to be the most
Right.
innovative one.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that those ones are not very good. So
Right.
that's just the differences in the different trees, different technologies inside of them.
Right.
But that's why we still keep the 2 ranges, because we can have more people to fit.
I think it's valuable that you have such a range for different likes. You know, like you're not deciding for somebody what they should like.
Exactly, and that's why, you know, when I feed people and horses, I know they're going to like one. I have 10 different ones. If
Right.
you cannot find something between 10 models,
Right.
good luck for yourself. Like, at the end of the day, we can really fit close, the twist, the shape of the seat, like everything is different in one to the other, and that's the real strength about the brand. Like, I know I'm going to be able to fit you to your needs, to what you like, don't like, and then yes, we need to talk about budget, just
Right.
because at the end of the day, that's how we design saddles. But yeah, I have the models that is going to fit what you need and what you like.
Absolutely.
You
Yeah.
like something very, this is a bit noisier.
Yeah,
than
I'm a
what you
plain
like.
Jane type of person.
But you see, so this one has the carbon plate, for example. It's not super loud, but you have, you know, a couple of things we can, of course.
Do you know,
design.
being a hunter, the carbon plate, I like something less flashy,
Yeah. And
but I like the white piping, so,
the ivory is pretty
yeah,
cool.
or the ivory
Because
piping.
this one, for example, it's a 2GS as well, but everything has been designed hunter. So
Yeah,
you cannot even see that it's a 2G. Like, even the cantle, everything is in leather. The stitching is in brown. It's not in ivory. You can grab it. So there's the tree. So I can put those back on. So you see that one is very like silver, very thin.
can you put a
panels.
saddle plate over that?
So the plate, as it's a carbon plate for the tree, we put it here.
Oh, okay, so, like, for looks wise, you wouldn't put like a pretty saddle plate there.
No, we do
Okay.
it with the classics though.
We don't need your
so
help.
our classic are still in the wood for the back of the saddle in the cantle.
Okay,
So yes, we can put a saddle like a nameplate here.
that's good to
On
know.
all our 2G, no, it's a carbon plate for the cantle. So
You need to
we
stop.
don't.
That makes sense. You are not helping
He's-
at
He
all.
wants to be part of the conversation.
He does. He's trying to pick his
I
favorite.
know, right?
Go play or disturb something else. Perfect.
So yeah.
Well, thank you so very much for coming, Julie.
Thank
It was
you.
very much appreciated.
Yes.
Thank you very much for your
You're very
time.
welcome. Cool. I'm glad we found something for.
Yeah.
And it's always challenging, when people have such, pathologies or like things that you have. How are you going to present a model that is going to remove that pressure, remove that pain?
Yeah.
And that's where we're super strong as well. Like we have
Perfect.
trees specifically for lower back pain and stuff. So
Right.
glad that you found
Which one is for the lower back pain?
So
the one
that
that I
one
picked?
is combined, exactly.
Okay.
So this one has a specific twist for the inner thighs again, and for the placement of your hips. But all the 2GSEs are going to have those capsule of gel to have more back
yeah.
support, basically.
Perfect.
And that's why the classics are very great. Again, you can be a bit better, a bit more pushed into the innovations in these ones, because you have more attributes into those.
Right. Okay, well, thank you so
Super,
much.
you're very welcome.